Hi guys, welcome to the Music B&B. My name is Callum and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to be an independent artist in 2024. Now, who am I and why do I get a say in what makes an independent artist in 2024? Winding the clocks back a little, I started making my own music properly in 2020. I released it to the world and nobody really cared about it. And I thought to myself, why does nobody care about it? And how can I make people care about it? I started the Music B&B with the idea that if I listen to other people's music, they might return the favor and listen to mine. I'm an independent artist, I make my own music, and you can go and check that out if you want to. It got to the year 2022 and I just started reacting to people's music. Over the past few years, I've reacted to more music than you can fit on an island. What? More music than you can shake a stick at. And I started to get a good picture of what makes a good song, what makes a good artist, what makes good promotion. So I'm going to dive into 10 different things that you can do to help improve being an independent artist. Before we start though, let's talk about what it means to actually be an independent artist. You can be an independent artist that doesn't have many fans, that just plays to your family, that makes music and never shares it with anyone. Or you could be an independent artist with hundreds and thousands of followers. For example, a large independent artist that I'm aware of is Enter Shikari, one of my favorite bands. They have been making their music independently for years. Now, you might not call it independent anymore because independent can mean, you're below the line of like being well known, but it also means making stuff by yourself. So here's the thing about being an independent artist. You can be any level of independent artist. So when I say being an independent artist, it means the career of being an independent artist, doing things by yourself and how to navigate that in today's modern world. I'd just like to add an additional point here. If your end goal is to become famous, then you're going about it the wrong way. You can have a perfectly good career as an independent artist without becoming famous. Think about how many people are famous in the world, how many people aren't. The odds of it happening aren't great. It's great to have high ambitions, but consider the fact that that might not happen, but you can have a perfectly good career as an independent artist without becoming famous. So let's cover these 10 different features that I feel are important of independent artists in 2024. I've seen it so many times. You've just made the most amazing album, at least in your opinion, and you release it to the world, and nobody cares. I'm going to tell you a story. I once worked with an artist trying to produce an album, and they just assumed that when it was ready, they'd release it to the world, and suddenly, soaring to popularity, famous across the world, multiple tours. It just doesn't happen like that. I see it time and time again where artists believe that their music is the best music since sliced bread. A lot of artists need to understand that they need to be responsible for their music, and responsible for pushing it, unless they have a record deal and then it's somebody else's responsibility. But as independent artists, it falls to us to promote it. I would say the first thing to do is to approach your music with the mindset that maybe people won't listen to it. Maybe your friends and family might like it and they might share it around, but you might have to do a bit more of the pushing. When I talk about behavior, I also talk about resilience. You sent your music out into the world and it was just your mum that listened to it. And now you're feeling a bit sad. No one cares about my music. It's the worst music in the world. I'm never going to make anything again. And then you stop. That behavior is not good. Yes, you've made something personal. That's you, that you've just shared with the world. And you've kind of been shot down because nobody seems to care. Yes, that happens. Of course it does. You've got to be aware that actually there will be many people out there in the world that care. They just need to be given that music. You need to find them somehow. So yeah, being resilient when things go wrong is key. I run an independent artist reaction channel, and a lot of the artists that ask me to review their music are actually really good at receiving criticism from me and taking advice on board and then building it into their next projects. That's the attitude we need. I review music on an app called Fiverr. I don't hide it. People do pay me to review their music, and that's fine. It's a way of, making a living for me. And the majority of the time, people are very good at receiving that criticism. But occasionally you'll come along the artist that can't take the criticism well. Then I receive bad reviews because I've told them, in my opinion, that their music isn't up to scratch. I mean, it's in the title of my profile. It says, I will give an honest opinion to your music. There's a difference though, isn't there, between honest and being mean. And I like to think I'm never mean about someone's music. I just try and be honest when I feel like things need improving. And that's something as artists we need to be better at. And even myself, receiving criticism from others can be a challenge. It can be hard to absorb that information and take it in and process it, that people don't actually like your music. Music is one of the most subjective and critiqued art forms in the world. So yes, people aren't going to like your music. There are people that don't like the Beatles, for example. You know, there's always going to be someone that doesn't like your music. Another thing I think is important is to receive criticism from strangers, because you're probably aware that if you showed your music to your family or your friends, they'll be like, oh, that's really good. You know, it's really good. And they could be lying, you know, telling you a white lie to make you feel better about your music. Family are family, yeah? And they're gonna do that. Either that, or you've got a horrible family that will make fun of you. Should you take on board every piece of advice that people give you if they say your music isn't good? Probably not. But I'd say if the majority of people are saying your music's good and they're enjoying it and it's not from family members, then you're probably doing something right. Make good songs with a unique twist that has a clear target audience. We see it a lot these days. The music that does very well is music that can go viral. It has a hook, it has a niche to it, and that's very important when making your music. Because if there's something with a twist that's very unique and easy to push to an audience, then it will be pushed to an audience. It can be as simple as doing an Instagram reel or a TikTok that has a unique twist. I've seen one recently where an independent artist shows how to make music videos on low budgets, and people get interested by that. Independent artists look, how do I make a good music video? And then that gets pushed to others. It could be a song topic that's interesting. It could be a unique style that you're wearing. It could be unique instrumentation. It could just be the energy that you're performing with. But if there's a unique twist to your song, people are more likely to be interested in it, or they're more likely to be shown it on algorithms. I like to make music that is all over the place. I like to make pop punk songs. I like to make pop songs. I like to make country songs. I like to make so many different songs, which is quite difficult to market to different audiences. There's a band that I've done work with called Times Too Fast. They're a pop punk band, and it's very easy for them to push their music to pop punk lovers with reels such as, you know, fans of pop punk, stop here. If you have a clear group to target, it's a very easy way to push your music. Connect with other artists. On my channel, whenever I've been reacting to the free submissions, by the way, you can submit your music below, so many artists will skip to the part where their music's being played, listen to their music, and then leave the video. I always say at the start of my videos, make sure to listen to another artist and comment on what you liked about that song, because connecting with other artists is a way for other artists to listen to you, and it's a scratch my back, scratch your back situation. If you like another artist and keep commenting on their stuff, they're likely to comment back, boosting algorithms, things like that. It's the most important thing these days, isn't it? Getting traction online. Since I started this channel, I've met so many unique, wonderful artists, and I'm so glad that I have, because it's such a wonderful world out there and there's so many amazing people, and you're missing out if you're not talking to other artists. Which leads me to the next thing. I used to do it myself. I'd post one reel about my song. It wouldn't get many views. I'd give up. It's not true that nobody cares about my music. It's just that I need to reach more people. Posting reels on Instagram or on TikTok, for example, is the best way to get your music seen. Putting the correct hashtags, trying to push it to people, is a great way to do it. Post consistently, but post more than one. Okay, you've released a song, it's got a little niche. Not many people saw that first video. Do another video, do another one. Your videos don't even have to be amazing. In fact, some of the best promotions I've seen on TikTok for artists is just someone walking down the street, singing a song and lip syncing it. And if the music's good, people will then go and find the whole track. Something that's up and coming that I've been using at the moment is Threads. If you use Threads correctly and connect with independent artists or other fans of whatever, it will push it to them. Threads is actually doing pretty good with that. It connects you with so many people. I need to start using it more, actually. I think the main thing to say about social media is don't give up. You're gonna have some dud. Don't make the excuse that you've been shadow banned and you can't be seen. Nobody really knows what that means. Oh, I'm not getting many views, must be shadow banned. Although you can be shadow banned as well. Tip number 6 is style. Having a consistent style makes audiences recognize you and know you. Oh, that's a so-and-so song because I've noticed the logo or the color scheme or whatever. It's the same with brands, isn't it? You know, you'll notice a logo and you'll instantly recognize it. Being consistent with your style can work. You don't have to be consistent with your style, but it does help. An artist that I've reviewed on this channel called Jazz does a really good job with that, and has been seen by lots of people because he has these great, bright, colorful, yellow, red schemes going on, and it happens in a lot of the music videos that he does. Now, in terms of style musically, I'm a big fan of like lots of different genres across an album because I have a very mixed musical palette. A lot of people don't. So if you want to be more consistent, have a consistent style throughout your albums, your EPs, whatever, or any single that you drop, that can also help because your audience knows what to expect. I'm not trying to say don't be creative, because I love being creative, but that can be one way, because an audience expects something that's similar, isn't it? You go to McDonald's, you expect to have a certain style of food, don't you? I'll have the McCaviar, please. You've heard the expression spend money to make money, and unfortunately in this world we kind of have to. Running small promotional campaigns for your reels on TikTok, Instagram, whatever, can really help boost. Yes, it might be an advert, yes, it might feel wrong to do it, but these apps kind of expect it now. They kind of want you to, and it does help. It does feel like these days as well that they're deliberately limiting you because they know you might invest money in them. Feel like that's happening, but it will help boost things. So yeah, you might need a little bit of money. If you want to get yourself on Spotify playlist, there are many services out there that do that, such as Groover or Submit Hub, where you can submit your song, give it a bit of background, say what style it's in, and then the people will review it and put it on their playlist. That does help a lot. Taking your time seems to be the way forward at the moment. I'm seeing a lot of artists just releasing single after single after single. The album isn't the way forward anymore. And for independent artists, that's actually pretty helpful because we don't really have the money to spend making good quality recordings for an album. Why not spend more money making the best single you can possible that is produced the best, and then more people will enjoy it. An example of this is Roddy Radke from Falling in Reverse. Since about 2019 has only been releasing the best quality singles that he could possibly make in the run up to an album, and it's only just dropping this year. Albums are redundant now. It's a waste of time. You could spend 6 months making an album, but the quality might not be as good. You will have more songs that aren't the best songs possible, and it's just not economically viable as an independent artist. So yeah, take your time, slow down, improve your craft, spend time listening to it, get people to review it, and then make changes until you finally submit it. Collaboration can be a great way to boost your audience. I'm currently working on an album. It's called 12 Months, and each month I've been making a different song and collaborating with a different artist that I have met through doing this channel. It's been amazing to connect with these artists, and also when I release the album, hopefully the audiences from these 12 artists will come over to me and listen to maybe the rest of the album. At first I was a bit shy and tentative about asking someone if I could collaborate with them, but in fact I haven't had a no yet. Everybody said yes, which is incredible. I was so worried and scared that the artists would say no because they didn't like my music, and that might happen, and that's okay. But there are going to be independent artists out there that you could collaborate with. You've just got to make those connections. And the last one, it's probably a big one, is the production side of things. You're either going to need to go down 2 routes, and you're going to need to spend a bit of money. So the route I went down was creating my own independent studio. I've got a Focusrite 2i2, which is a cheap recording interface, and I've got a Shure SM7B, which I'm using here, which is great for recording because the audio quality is amazing. And with that, I can record my instrument, I can record my voice. You're also going to need some software to record your music into. I use Logic Pro. I'm a MacBook user, and I've been using Logic Pro for 10 years. You're also going to have to learn how to use these things. For starters, I'd recommend using something easier like BandLab, which is an online free one, or GarageBand, which is also free if you're a MacBook user. You can learn the ropes on there. There are plenty of YouTube tutorials out there on how to record, and then you can try and record things. If you just want to start out by doing demos, that's absolutely fine. I recently created a whole EP using the microphone from a built-in laptop speaker, and it was pretty fun. And considering I've got the equipment to do it, I just set myself a challenge. So yeah, those were 10 tips I feel might help you to be an independent artist in the year 2024. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you some things to think about. I hope it helped you to consider how you behave as an independent artist and how you present yourself. And I hope that goes well and these tips help you to push yourself further out into the world so that more people can enjoy your wonderful music, because I'm sure it is absolutely amazing. If you like that, consider subscribing to the channel. We react to independent artists and popular music on this channel, so if you want to hear something that isn't the most popular music out there, please do subscribe. Consider submitting your music using the link in the description, and I'll see you in another one of my videos. Goodbye, I guess. And now it feels so good to say hello, hello, good morning, hello, 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 good day, hello. And now it feels so right to say I miss you, I love you, and God, it feels so good to say hello. God, it feels so good to say hello.
Bye, ladies and gentlemen.